All right, I'm back. The second problem your teacher asked you to do, again, is going to revolve around this unit circle concept. So it's a radius of 1 centered at the origin, and he asked you to sketch two angles, A and B, so that sine of A was the same thing as cosine of A. Well, if I make angle A 45 degrees, notice that over here we would get that our angle measurements would both be the square root, or our measurements would both be the square root of 2 over 2, comma, the square root of 2 over 2, making the ratio measurements both equal. The second question he asked was, when would sine of B and cosine of B be the same? Well, they're the same at 225 degrees, where again we have the same measurement, but now they're both negative. The following question revolves around that tangent concept again. So are there any angles x so that tangent of x equals 1? Well, what he's trying to get you to see is that the 45-degree angle up here is going to allow you, when you divide these two, to equal 1. Similarly, at the 225 angle, we see that it also equals 1. Now, when would tangent of x equal -1? This occurs, if we take a look over here, at our other 45-degree measurement, so to speak, so 315 degrees and 135 degrees. When we divide a positive by a negative, we're going to get that -1, which is what he was asking you to see here. So again, that goes back to the concept that tangent is sine divided by cosine. Okay. And then the last problem you asked me about was number 5. It said let point P, which is denoted AB, be on the unit circle. From what I could see, what you did, you didn't necessarily put it on, you wanted to put it on one of the vertices, but technically this point can rotate around anywhere on the unit circle, and anywhere you put these points, you're going to see this relationship. From P, they want you to travel 90 degrees and call that point Q. So notice how these two lines are forming a right angle or a 90-degree angle. And point P, the coordinates, which I just pulled right off of this circle, was 1/2 comma square root of 3 over 2. 60 degrees plus 90 degrees equals 150 degrees. And again, I pulled these coordinates right off that circle. So really, he was just asking you to find the coordinates of these 2 points. Now, he then asks you what's the relationship between the slopes of these lines. Well, the slopes of these lines are simply, this one's positive, this one's negative. The other relationship he's looking for you to recognize is that the coordinates actually switch spots, and then the positive negative depends on which quadrant you're in. I hope this stuff helps, and if you have questions, let me know. Bye.